Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Donna Sports Show, brought to you by my great friends and sponsors, J.D. Muggs, Still and Grill with 33 famous beers, Primerica Investments with Mike Figarelli. Man, you want to make some money? Give Mike a call. Wayne H. O'Brien. The H stands for houses and hockey. He loves both. The golf courses of DuPage Forest Preserve District of the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County. Wow, that's a mouthful. They have 3 courses, Green Meadows, Oak Meadows, and Maple Meadows. Jeff, we can almost get out and golf today, you know, if I get you some clubs, right?
I'd have to get some clubs from somebody.
I'll get you some.
I only need a putter because that's all I've ever done was putt.
All right. Ozzy's, the world's best subs. Man, at Wolf and Grand, you want a delicious sub sandwich, go in there and see Ozzy. And by the way, a deepest sympathy to Ralph, the owner. His mom, Carmelina, passed away, yes. And we were at the wake last night, and it was kind of sudden in a way that she was out in California visiting her brother, and wouldn't you know it, she gets a heart attack and passes away. So our deepest sympathy to that family. Fox Bowl on Butterfield Road in Wheaton, Illinois, a great place to bowl. And speaking of bowling, my good friend and my co-host for today, Jeff Trusco, is going to tell us the exciting news. So go right ahead, Jeff.
Hello, sports fans. It's great to be here with the Donna Sports live and in person. And we're going to give an exciting report about our accomplishments this year. We did win the right to get into the playoffs this year for our bowling league by finishing in first place the fourth quarter of the season. As a matter of fact, the Donna Sports had more total points on the season than anybody else in the league.
Wow.
And I believe that's a first for us.
Mm-hmm.
And bowling in the semifinal round, we were up against the J.D. Muggs team, and we had, I believe, a 7-14 record against them during the season. But this was going to be a close match. They spotted us just 8 pins in handicap, and we got off to a kind of a slow start. 4 of our team members didn't either hit below average or just close to it, but not enough to overcome the efforts of the J.D. Muggs team. However, thanks to our anchorman, Pete Spino, he started that first game with 4 strikes in a row, got 3 spares after that, another strike, another spare, another strike, another spare. He wound up with a 227. Thank you, Pete. We won that game, that close game, by only 9 pins.
Wow.
That got us off into a good direction. However, we did not maintain that in the second game, and the high man for the J.D. Muggs team was Don Bogach, their leadoff bowler, with a 191 average. And unfortunately, our high man was Brad Meir with a 196, and everybody else was under their averages, so we wound up losing that game by 80 pins. But it ain't over until it's over. So in the third game, we came out with all guns firing. We took a 1-mark lead after the very first frame. Jean Shrilla, our leading lady, she had a clean game, and she only had 1 open frame due to a railroad. She wound up with a 201.
Wow.
Don himself had a double here, a double there, and after a split, he finished the game with 5 strikes in a row for a 234.
Wow.
That's fantastic, Don.
I bowled my weight.
You were really feeling it that night. And then Brad Meir, whom I call our MVP, he had an off game, but Matt Quaranta, who's one of the stalwarts on our team, started that game with a double. He also had only 1 open frame due to a split, but he ended the game with 5 strikes in a row and a 9 count for a big 230. And Donna Sports wound up winning that game by 130 pins. Hooray for us. That got us into the championship match. Now, the championship night, everybody's excited about this and wondering who's going to come out on top after this night is over. There was only a 2-pin difference in the handicaps, but the 2 pins were in our favor. However, they didn't matter in the outcome of any game. And get this, the Don himself started with a turkey, and he had another turkey in the second half of the game, winding up with a 212. a nice comeback from what you've been lately. I mean, you were over your average, and that's what we needed. Somebody to come through. Brad Muir, who I claimed as our MVP, he finished that game with 5 strikes in a row. He had a 213. The Donna Sports wins that first game by 126 pins. We're off and running. Now we got to maintain this. In the second game, it was close as it ended. We were trailing, however, by 8 marks, which is equivalent of 80 pins at the end of the 5th frame.
That's a lot.
It is. You only got half a game to overcome that, and we thought that their second man. We were bowling against Chicago Spence, and their second man, Butch Carlson, has a 176 average. He rolled a 225. He started with 5 strikes in a row. We thought he single-handedly was going to be the reason why they were going to win that game, but it ain't over until it's over. At the end of the 6th frame, we were 6 down. At the end of the 7th frame, we were 2 down. Going into the 10th frame, we were 1 mark down. Jeannie Shrula had a 208. Don Figarelli had a turkey there in the 9th and 10th frame, winding up with a 200. Brad Muir put 5 strikes together in the second half of that game, getting a 225. Matt Caranta, stalwart Matt, had a clean game. He had a 4-bagger in the middle of the game. He got a double in the 10th frame, comes up with a huge 238, and the Donna Sports eked that game out by 18 pins. That's all we needed. 2 games to win the championship. Well, okay, you can relax now. The 3rd game is meaningless for both teams. However, that didn't stop Brad. He continued on, finishing with a 213. Pete Spino saved the best for the very last. He started that game with 6 strikes in a row, got stuck with a bucket, but converted it in the 7th frame, finished with 4 strikes and a 9 count for a big 275, a clean game. The Donna Sports won that game by 61 pins, and we were hugging everybody. We're kissing our leading lady. I mean, this was fantastic.
That's right.
And we got to give a nice round of applause to our opponents in that championship match, Chicago Spence. They took it well. They weren't jealous. They weren't angry. Inside, of course, they were hurting. But Jay Snyder, their anchorman, was high for them with a 596. However, Brad Muir had a 651 series, and Pete Spino a 619, and Matt Quaranta a 604. Congratulations to the Donna Sports winning the championship in the Tradesman's League at Stardust Bowl, their first year in the league.
Yeah, no, we made a lot of friends, Jeff, I'm sure.
I know there were people that were rooting for us.
Well, yeah, there were. They came up to us and congratulated. You know, that middle game, Jeff, is sort of like you come up in the 9th inning of a baseball game, you know, and you're down 4 or 5 runs, and you put together a rally, and you end up winning the game. That's sort of how we were in that second game, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We were down so much, 80 pins, and you go, wow, we got to come back. And sure enough, you know, we did, you know. But we've kind of been doing that all year, really.
Yes, we have. We didn't want to let a deficit such as that let us down because there was still half a game to go, and this proves that anything can happen. You never give up. You always try to do your best. And really, what is a better feeling than to think you're going to lose? And I'm talking about competitive sports. Yeah. You think you're going to lose, and then all of a sudden everybody is doing their part. They're gelling, and we cut the deficit down, and then we surpass them and overtake them for the win. Yeah. That is just terrific, in my opinion.
It really was, folks. And Rich, you know, our good friend Rich Valdez showed up to cheer us on, a fellow who we used to bowl with in the past years, and he came up there to watch us and cheered us on. And it was great that he did that. And a lot of the other bowlers, I guess maybe they were pulling for us, although, like Jeff said, it was our first year in the league, so we don't know personally that many guys, you know. But afterwards, almost every team came up and shook our hand. So that was a nice gesture.
There are some people on some teams, no matter where you go, that have certain attitudes, and they don't want to offer acknowledgement that you've accomplished winning the championship. Some are quiet, some are angry, and you know, I really like the fellows who you hardly know, but they come by to offer the congratulations anyway. You know, we don't know them, we don't socialize with them or anything, but they have the nicety to come over and shake your hands and say, great going, guys.
Absolutely, and kudos to you, Jeff, because Jeff got hurt. He was bowling the first couple of months, but then he got hurt, his shoulder, his knee, and so on, and then he just couldn't perform up to his capability like he normally does. So he just went on the sideline. He says, "Fellas, let's try to get a few extra bowlers for me," because he didn't want to hurt the team by not performing at his best. And you know what? Every week he was there. He's our stat man. That's why he could come up with all these these different stats on what we did, how we performed, and it's great because at the end of the year he tabulates what we have done, how many, if you missed a spare, if you did this, and it's great to review that, Jeff, because that's how you improve. You say, wow, I can improve in this part of my game, which is quite, intense in the sense that you can miss the head pin. There's a lot of science to bowling, really. It's not just picking up a ball and throwing it down the lane. For our, the level that we're at, there's a lot of technique involved, and thank you for bringing that out for us.
Well, you're welcome. I enjoy doing it. It makes me feel I'm still a part of the team, even though I'm not an active member. I still want to do my part, and I've been doing this for several years, and I would like to think that everybody has kept their statistics from one year to the next so they can see how they may have improved or maybe did a little worse, and it's something they can work on. And it's exciting for me. It really is.
It really. All right. We're going to take a fast break, and we'll be right back with some exciting stuff. All right, Jeff. Very good. Hi everybody, the Donna Sports here. Hey you guys, it's time to get out and golf. The DuPage County Forest Preserve courses are open. Maple Meadows at 272 Addison Road in Wooddale. It's a links type course that is in great shape and no trees to hit. That's what a links type course is, not many trees. Oak Meadows at 900 North Wooddale Road in Addison is a traditional course with trees, beautiful flowers, and not many sand traps. And the price is reasonable. And get this, it has the longest bar in DuPage County for the 19th hole. And Green Meadows on 63rd and Westmont, a shorter course that is in great shape also. All of these courses are waiting for you at reasonable prices. Call Oak Meadows at 630-595. Hey folks, if you get a chance, get over to J.D. Muggs Bar and Grill, located at 437 North Addison Road in Addison, Illinois. 33 different kinds of beer. Can you imagine that? It's the home of the He-Man burger, and baby, that is a He-Man burger. Wait till you see the size of that burger. Chicken Caesar salad, which is one of my favorites. It's a friendly atmosphere. There's karaoke on Wednesday night and a great DJ on Fridays. Call Dean at 630-833-2570.
My name's Tom Sims. I'm the owner of Fox Bowl. We are Fox Bowl Training Center and Pro Shop. We set ourselves apart because we emphasize instructions. We have a full-time bowling instructor, Greg Zika. We have instant replay, videotape each bowler. Another program that we have is our Youth Bowling, USA Bowling. It's an 8-week program, after school type of thing. It's 8 weeks for $88 with instructions, and every child gets a free bowling ball, a $75 value. And thank you from Fox Bowl.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figuarelli here, the Donna Sports, and my co-host for today is Jeff Trusko, a bowling extraordinaire guy, a guy who's been bowling since he was in diapers, I think.
Not quite.
But Jeff knows an awful lot about bowling and bowled in many leagues and just enjoys the game along with me, and gave us a nice report there. But we were busy over the weekend. The whole family were involved with the National Fitness Hall of Fame, which my son founded 8 years ago. And every year he has a banquet and he inducts people into a National Fitness Hall of Fame. Now, when you think of Hall of Fame, you think of baseball, basketball, football. Jeff, you the big three sports, and everybody kind of knows Mickey Mantle, okay? Oh, yeah, Mickey Mantle. Even a housewife would know. Babe Ruth, oh, yeah, Hall of Fame. Football, yeah, Walter Payton, but because they say, and he's in the Hall of Fame. But these people in the Fitness Hall of Fame, Jeff and folks, are people who have excelled in the fitness industry.
I notice our pictures aren't on that list.
Yeah. And there are people who, and then the criteria is like they have to be in, like 20 years, maybe written a few books, and have trained people and done a lot for the industry. And every year, and then, like I say, some names, if you say it, they're not household names, but every once in a while, John will induct someone who, oh yeah, I remember him. As an example, one of the first fellows in the Hall of Fame was Jack LaLanne. Now everybody knows who Jack LaLanne was on TV, and he was fitness. The guy was just a terrific man that promoted fitness way back from the late 40s, 50s.
And I remember seeing him on TV when the TVs were black and white.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
And then but like I say, in between Jack and that, there's other people who have accomplished a lot of things, but they're not household names, like William Crawford, who was started out in Colorado and trained people. He trained movie stars and so on. He's been in the business, has his own fitness gym and so on. And Dave Parisi, who's written a few books. Francis Rudy Rudiger. Now, remember Rudy Rudiger? Now, it's not that's his brother, who they made a movie after, Rudy of Notre Dame. I don't know if you had seen that, but that was a movie called Rudy. And he was from Joliet, Illinois, went to Joliet Catholic. He was like 5'7", 160 pounds, and he wanted to play for Notre Dame. And it was a great movie, but he became a big star from that. But his brother Francis is almost not as well known technically in the business, let's say, or in the movies. But he has his own gym in Joliet. He's trained Joliet Catholic football team, who's won many championships. He's trained Tom Thayer in his gym there in Shorewood, Illinois, and he was inducted. And another good friend of mine he's in the Hall of Fame, but he attended the affair. Is Tony Little. Now, Tony Little is America's trainer, and he's the guy with the glider. He invented that. Not invented it, but he performed on the Easy Rider, I believe it is. He was there. Tony came in, well-known guy in the industry. Mark Rothstein, who, get this, he jumped rope for 36 straight hours. He's in the Guinness Book of Records.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark Rothstein, a great, great guy. Jim Whitehead was there, and so was Esther Gutierrez, who's a salsa gal up on the north side. She was inducted into the Hall. She's been in the Hall of Fame, been in the business 30 years, trained a lot of people. Gilad Jankowicz, who Bodies in Motion. I don't know if you remember that, but he, like you say, almost when black and white, he was on almost every day. Bodies in Motion, teaching you how to stay fit. Jim Everode, Lee Rupus, a good friend of mine. You know Lee, I believe, big, tall, strong bodybuilding guy. I don't know if you bumped into him at one time or another. June Katay, the great fitness gal down there in Florida around Tampa, and Clint Phillips. They were there along with a lot of other people, Jeff. And my son John had a banquet, and it was a lot of fun. They got their awards, and they're inducted into the Fitness Hall of Fame. So we had a good time. All right.
I thought Bodies in Motion was the name of a discotheque on the Southwest Side back in the 60s.
Probably was. All right, hold on. We got a caller.
Far West Wayne.
All right. We got a caller, Jeff. Grab that phone there. And hello, Far West Wayne?
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Say hi to Jeff Trusco, my bowling guru.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Wayne.
Now, Wayne.
He carries you, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's for sure. Don, you should have done this, you should have done that. Stand to the left, stand to the right. He kind of watches me, and then sure enough, it helps, Wayne, when you got, because you can't always see your performance, and
when you listen to somebody who knows what they're doing, why?
Yeah, right. And he studies bowling, and he's quite a guy on bowling. But you're quite a guy on hockey, Jeff, because at 70 years old, he's still playing physical hockey.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had those joints.
Tell the folks about that league you're in and what you do, Wayne, out there. And unfortunately he's a Boston Bruin fan, but he'll tolerate the hockey. You know, because you were brought up in Boston. Was that it, Wayne?
No, I've never been to Boston. I it's a long story, but in 1970 I became a Boston Bruins fan, and
nobody's perfect.
This is true, but my Bobby Orr's my favorite. My second favorite is Stan Mikita.
You're right. That's why. See, he likes Boston and the Bruins, and then he's also a Viking fan. Now, how did that come about?
For about the same reason. A long story. Being I'm a Viking, actually.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, I get you. Olsen, yeah, with Thor and all them guys.
Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, all right. And that's how he became a Viking fan. But he'll pull for the Bears, I'm sure, if they're not playing the Vikings. And
yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And the other thing too is he's a pilot, Jeff, and he can fly and take a picture of your house from the air and sell it for you, right, Wayne?
Yeah, I offer free aerial photo for listings and sales, yeah.
Now, give him that website again, please.
Well, it's email, actually.
All right.
It's Flyin' Realtor, spelled Flyn, realtor@yahoo.com.
And how is the real estate market now, Wayne? Easier to get a loan?
Residentially, it's picking up a little bit, and of course, commercially is not affected. I got commercial listings too, and they are actually selling better than residential. But residential has picked up a little bit this spring.
Yeah. Well, the rules changed a little bit, right? I mean, that's what got us in trouble. Someone would buy a $300,000 house with no money down, and then all of a sudden, right, he can't pay for it, right? Did they change?
That's politics in the last four or 5 years. But, that's one of the big reasons. And but somebody with good credit can get a loan, and people are buying houses. I got my 5-acre farmette sold.
Oh, you got that one sold, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Good. Yeah, I wanted to get in on that one. If you'd loan me the dough, I'd go buy it. You know.
Right.
I should retire on a little farmette there. How about your little grandson? Get this. Oh yeah, tell the folks and Jeff what your little grandson. I couldn't believe it when he called me. Go ahead. What he did a couple of games ago.
Well, my son and I put him on skates at 3.
Wow.
And he's now 5. He's played 4 games, and he's got 24 points, goals and assists.
Yeah, but didn't you say one game? How many goals did he score in one game?
10 goals and 1 assist.
Oh, brother.
Well, that's the time to get him going when he's young.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
For sure.
Yeah, and then how many goals did you score?
I play defense. I let the hot dog score. I just try to keep the puck out of my net.
Yeah, what he plays, Jeff, is called rat hockey. It's they follow the rules, you know, and so on, but no body checking and things like that, right? They try not to do that, right, Wayne?
Basically, yeah, no.
Yeah, at that.
When I played in the men's league and won in '74, it was no check, but I mean there was checking. Checking done. And it's more for fun. Okay.
Well,
Real
right.
Hockey is where 12, 15 guys show up. You just pick sides and play. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, that's true. But although, you know, the minute you start keeping score, guys get kind of excited. You know, I mean, who's going to win and so on. You know, it starts out friendly probably, and you hope it stays that way. But, you know,
it's a good feeling when you score, but I just can't play like I did 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, and I can't bowl like I did 20 years ago either.
You've done well lately, Don. Don't shortchange yourself. I got the proof.
Yeah, right. We won a bowling championship. I think I told you that at the fitness affair, that we won the bowling championship. You know, we were excited about that.
It was a great get-together.
Yeah. Wayne was there, and like I was telling Jeff, you know, these people are in their industry they've accomplished a lot, and so they get into that Hall of Fame, you know, which
it's phenomenal what some of them people do.
Yeah, you know, really written books, a lot of books, and so on. What do you think? Do you think they too much PR on Derrick Rose? What do you think of that, Wayne? You know, when you hear all they talk, the minute a broadcast starts. Derrick Rose stubbed his toe. You know, I mean, it's like there's other players on the team. You know, what do you think?
I don't understand. You know, some of the sportscasters, they just can't think of anything to say, so they, you know.
Yeah, well, it's like the same way with Tiger Woods or something. When the minute a golf tournament starts, they're talking about Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods not even in the golf tournament. You know, I mean, it's like they like to just say his name. Oh, did you hear the guy mention Tiger Woods? Yeah, okay, but he's not even playing, you know. And I mean, and Derrick Rose, the minute a segment starts, where's Derrick?
I'm not a journalist, but I think that's called fill-in.
Yeah.
In other words, you know,
I
keep
think
talking.
Yeah, and sensationalism or something. It's called, you know, it's like, you know, that's the hot topic, you know. But and then they go overboard with it, though. I mean, it's you know, I mean, you don't mind a little bit, but come on, you know, talk about other players, or okay, the guy's on the disabled list. Okay, go on from there. Plus, I don't think he's that great, to be honest with you. I mean, I may get a lot of flack on that, but I mean, he's good and he does spectacular plays once in a while. But I've seen other guys do some of the stuff he does. You know, reverse layups and dunks and things like that. Although he's good, I'm not saying he isn't good, but I've watched the games a lot, and I could tell, you know, Derrick's going to get the ball. He's going to go in and try to score no matter what, you know, and a lot of times he doesn't score, you know, instead of letting someone else score because the other team's defensing him good. I could see that happening. You can't go in there against them 6-7 footers and try to, you know, just jam it in like he was doing. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
It's been my observation that
on hockey, I just want to say I'll make a prediction. It'll be Washington and Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
In the Cup.
Oh, I see. Yeah, fine. Oh, well. Maybe, huh? Jeff wanted to tell you something. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, it's been my observation that when I watch the Bulls games, it seems that Derrick Rose, now I think he's averaging 23, 24 points a game, something like that. So it's not like 29, 30, 31.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he turns the ball over quite a bit of times, in my observation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. And like he's right, yeah. Like I say, I've seen it. Here's another thing I've noticed when he was playing. If a guy on the other team made a spectacular shot, okay, and the crowd went crazy, on the other team now I'm talking about, invariably the Bulls come down, Rose has the ball, he will take that shot. He will not, because he's trying to show up, well, if that guy can make that spectacular shot, watch me. I can do it just as good as him. And because I know I watch almost every single game. And sure enough, you know, when he'd come down, even if he was open or not, he'd take the shot. That's what I'm saying, see. And then he'd make some of them, but a lot of times he wouldn't.
Prima donna?
Yeah, something like that. You're absolutely right. That's what I think. But maybe they can win without him, you know. It takes more than one guy to win, you know. So maybe they can wait if they just stop all these media guys blabbing every 5 seconds of Derrick Rose, he did that, he did this, you know.
Well, it's going to happen for several years because they've invested a lot of money in him.
Oh,
and he's the franchise.
Yeah,
you're right. We haven't had a player like this since Michael and company left, 14 years or so ago? And so you're going to be hearing an awful lot about Derrick Rose and his accomplishments and how the team is dependent on him. But I hope the guys on the team get it in their heads, because there's a lot of mental aspect about playing sports. Okay, our leader is down. We got to pick up the slack. They have won 18 out of 27 games during the regular season when he was not in the lineup, so they can do it.
You're absolutely,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know, my wife brought up a question, and I wonder, well, we'll have to have someone who knows that. He's got like a 5-year contract or whatever for $60 million or whatever it was. If he gets hurt, which he did get hurt, say he can't play anymore the rest of his career. Let's just say, I hope that isn't the case, but say he can't play anymore. Does he still get all that money? Does he get paid every year?
That depends upon the contract.
Yeah.
It might be like in hockey. I know is that when somebody when that guy one guy hit Hossa.
Yeah.
He got a 25-game suspension.
Okay.
And he also lost his wages on his contract for that period of time too.
Yeah. And then, but he could play again, though, right? He can
but
play.
Injuries, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the contract's set up. If he gets injured and can't play anymore, I'm sure it's in the contract where he's not going to make $60 million.
Well, that's what I told her. I said, well, gee, I'm sure that had to come up because the owners and they say, look at Derek, we know you're great and so on, but if you can't play, we can't give you that big money. So, but they probably would say, look, we're going to pay $1 million or $2 million or something.
For the one or 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
6.
I know it's a lot more than I'm going to get. All right. All right, Wade. Thanks for the call, buddy, and we'll talk to you subsequently. All right.
Right. Okay,
all right.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Wayne H. O'Brien. All right, Jeff. We're going to take a fast break, and we'll be right back.
All righty.
Primerica is one of the largest financial services marketing organizations in the nation, with approximately 95,000 licensed independent representatives. Primerica is an industry leader in financial services. I'm Mike Figarelli, an independent representative and senior vice president in the Bensonville area, and the company's goal is to help ordinary families prepare for their financial futures. We've shown many local families how to do just that, and we are prepared to grow locally by providing people with financial solutions as well as a great business opportunity. As an independent representative with Primerica, you can build a business of your own, part-time or full-time. To learn more about the Primerica business opportunity, call me, Mike Figarelli, at 630-860-0033. Again, that's 630-860-0033.
Hi everybody, this is Don Figarelli of Don of Sports, talking about Wayne Houses O'Brien. For all your real estate needs, call Wayne Houses O'Brien. Yes, the H stands for houses, at 630-235-5880, or visit his website at flyingrealtor@yahoo.com. That's right, he's a pilot. He'll take a picture of your home from the sky. Whether you're buying or selling, call Wayne at 630-235-5880. He has residential, commercial, and investment properties. He is honest, hardworking, and friendly. Those are all the traits you want in a realtor. He loves hockey and he loves to fly. Again, call Wayne Houses O'Brien at 630-235-5880 or visit him on his website at flyingrealtor@yahoo.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figarelli here, the Don of Sports, and my co-host for today is Jeff Trusco. And on the line, Jeff, with us is your friend, Bill Gushzo. Am I pronouncing it right?
Gushjo.
Oh,
hey,
Gushjo. Hello, Bill.
How you doing?
All right. Sorry about me mispronouncing your last name there, but I'll get used to it. How you doing?
Right. You're not the first one to do it, and you won't be the last. So I'm used to it.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. We've got some questions for you, so go right ahead, Jeff.
Bill, I told Don before how last year you became a Pro Bowler, and you were named the Chicagoland Bowler of the Year, if I'm correct in that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I want to tell Don that you began bowling in your house when you were just 4 or 5 years old. You had the plastic pins and plastic ball, and you had that open doorway between the 2 bedrooms, carpeted, but you set up the pins on one side in one room, and then you came back and rolled the ball to knock them down, and you did that repetitiously at that young age. And who knew back then that you would turn out to be at the level you are today? But like I said a moment ago, you start them young.
Mm-hmm. Well, your mom and dad must have had a lot to do with your success, Bill.
Yeah, well, my mom and dad both bowled in leagues when I was, just a young little kid, and I would go up and watch them bowl and everything. And my grandfather was the one that really started me. He put me in my first league when I was, I want to say, either 5 or 6 years old, and been doing it ever since then.
Is that lane still open, Bill, or is it probably long gone, huh, where you first bowled?
The place that I very first bowled at was Hickory Hills Lanes, and it's now like a pub or a diner or someplace like that over in Hickory Hills on Roberts Road.
Yeah, isn't that a shame? All those nice houses, they've gone by the wayside. But there's still some still standing that are doing good.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sport that's gonna live through pretty much anything. It has its ups and downs just like anything, but for the most part, it stays afloat no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I say, I think 10 years ago there was like 10 million bowlers, okay? Now there's only 5, but 5 million is a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Oh, sure. It's always quoted as being the #1 participation sport in the world, and it's just because it's nice and easy and just about anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm. But to perform at that's what I always contend about, to perform at your level now, they say, oh, bowling, that's easy. You just get a ball, you throw it down the lane, Yeah, but try to control it, try to average 200 plus like you guys do. You don't just do that just showing up once a week.
No, not easily. I mean, there's a few people that are just extremely naturally talented that can pull that off, but for the most part, you got to work at it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Bill, let me ask you this. When you were a young kid in grammar school, did you go to practice frequently at the lanes?
When I was in grammar school, it was mostly just bowling once a week. It was when I got into high school is when I would really start practicing more and more, and I started working at a pro shop at 103rd and Cicero, and it was like when I got done working in the pro shop, I'd go out and bowl, 10 or 15 games afterwards until they kicked me out of the bowling alley when they were closing.
That was nice. You probably, it was on the house for the bowling, right? You didn't have to come up with $2 a line or whatever it was.
No, they would charge me $0.25 a game because I was kind of an employee of the place, so they gave me the employee discount for it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a gig like that.
Well, that was the other thing that I contend too, Bill and Jeff, is that years ago bowling was relatively inexpensive, and now, of course, like everything else goes up, but to bowl one line, it's perhaps $3.50, $4.
Right.
And that made a hurt. I said, well, man, I get 3-4 games, I can't afford that,
Right.
And then at that time too, you could smoke in a bowling lane, and maybe some people said, geez, I have too much smoke in there, I can't do it. So all those things were cut into the sport a little bit, I think,
Oh, sure. I mean, it's just like anything else. When you got things changing around you, you just got to figure out a way to adapt to it, and businesses just adapt and change with their surroundings, just like anything else. So it always causes that little downturn, like especially when Illinois went into its no smoking laws, like especially in the South Chicago area, because it was like, well, we can just shoot right over to Indiana and we could still smoke inside there.
Yeah, right. Okay, it's not bragging if you can do it, Bill, so tell the folks how many 700 series you've had, and probably a few 300s already, I'm sure. So tell the folks your career, your stats, if you can, off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, the 700s are countless. 300 games, I've had 13 of them.
Is that right?
I've had 2 299s, and I want to say 5 800 series.
5 800 series, man. Jeff, now that's averaging 240 a game or something. What would that come to?
Well, 240 a game would be a 720 series. So if he's had countless numbers of those, then obviously he's shooting way up there, and he's just out of our league.
Well, last year for the season, for my fall and winter league season, I averaged 234 for the year. So I was averaging 702 every week.
Whoa, yeah, isn't that great, gee, to be able to do that, Jeff, on average 704.
And this is why I tried to get him on our team a few years ago. I knew what he was doing. I said, come on, but he wanted to go where the money was.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Bill. How about your ball? Do you change balls a lot? Do you kind of stay with one ball, so to speak? Or how about your equipment? Tell the folks, perhaps just beginning, what they should do.
Well, I mean, there's so many different bowling balls out there that do so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who you are, you always have your favorite one. And the best thing to do when you're starting out for a day is just start with the ball that you're most comfortable with, that you know how it's supposed to react, and just kind of adjust from there.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it would be somewhere in the middle of your arsenal. So if the ball isn't hooking enough, then you can step up to a higher performance ball that's in your bag. And if it's hooking too much, then you can step down. So the thing that I always do when I go into a tournament or any place that I don't know what kind of condition I'm bowling on, I'll just start with a ball right in the middle of the road there, and then that way it gives me a starting point for whether I got to go up or down as far as technology goes.
Do you know the pattern now when you go into a house? Do you know what the pattern is, or do you ask them, hey, what is your pattern for the day? And by that, folks, they say, right, isn't that the different oil, the way the oil is distributed?
Right. Yeah, I mean, with the oil, it can vary for where it's placed on the lane, whether it's heavier in the middle or less on the outsides, and then there's length and then total overall volume. Some tournaments will post the pattern, and it'll show, like, they'll have a graph showing where the oil is placed, how long it is, and all the stuff that you would need to know. Other times you go in and it's a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to be running into. You got to kind of visualize what the pattern is just by the way the bowling ball's reacting on the lane.
Okay. And that's probably the difference where it comes in between guys like Jeff and I and you. We'll go in there and whatever the ball's reacting, we don't know how to adjust, quick enough. Maybe by the third game we finally say, oh, gee, I'm putting it at the 8th board, and all the time. It took us that long. By that time, the games are over, where right. I think you fellas, probably 2 or 3, 4 balls, you kind of know what the pattern is.
We get a little bit of an idea of it, and, no matter how good you are or how bad you are, you're human, so you're not always gonna guess right all the time. There's some science to it, but it's also a guessing game too, and it's just whoever uses the most intelligent guess. Kind of like a science experiment. You gotta form a hypothesis, which is just an educated guess.
Now, Bill, you got about a couple dozen balls in the basement of your home, right?
Oh yeah.
and how many do you normally take when you go out to bowl, either in the league or in a tournament?
League play, I'll usually only bring like maybe 5 bowling balls with me. Tournaments, I went out to the U.S. Open in New Jersey this past February, and I brought 15 bowling balls with me.
Oh my, really? 15.
Yep.
Did you use most of them, or did you settle on 1 or 2 and say, this is it, and I'm just going to perform with these?
I probably went through about 9 or 10 of them. There might have been 4 or 5 that I didn't use, and I while I was out there, I also had 3 other bowling balls drilled for me, so just to try and suit the pattern and get the ball to roll a little bit better.
Now, if you use a particular ball that you find is appropriate for a particular lane condition, will that same ball be used on a similar condition at a different house, or do you have to make a total different adjustment?
Most of the time you can try and use the same one, but, like I was saying earlier, it's just every place is different. You can bowl on, like, if you're talking about the PBA patterns, you can bowl on a pattern called the Viper pattern at one building and then go across town to a different building, and it could be the exact same pattern, but it won't play anything close to what it did at the other place. And
is that right?
factors that play into that is there's a ton of different lane surfaces. It depends on which brand of oil they're using and the topography of the lane surface also, because each lane there's certain specs that the lanes have to be within, but if one lane is tilted, 10 thousandths of an inch one way, and then you go to the other place and it's tilted 10 thousandths of an inch in the other direction, it's going to make a whole big difference on the way the ball is going to hook on the lane.
Do you keep notes on all these different conditions to help you determine which ball to begin with?
Not usually. I just kind of make little mental notes, but nothing on pen and paper. It's all just, a lot of it's been instinctual for me.
Wow, that's great. A friend of ours who I know personally, and I think Jeff does too, a bowler from the past, Carmen Salvino, Bill, and I've interviewed him several times, and boy, he's a scientific guy too, like you sound like, you know what I mean?
Oh, he certainly is.
Yeah, and the boy, he studies this, studies that. He says it's not just, like I say, picking the ball up and flinging it, He said there's an awful lot of physics and science to bowling.
Oh, God, physics and chemistry and everything that goes into it, almost any kind of science that you can think of.
Is that right?
Have you met or bowled with Carmen, Bill?
I've met him. I've never bowled with him before.
He's well into his 70s now, Bill, but he still tells me, I bowl 15 games a day, But it's nice when you walk in the league, go ahead, Carl, bowl as many as you want,
Oh, geez, I hope that by the time I'm 50, I'm still able to bowl 15 games a day, let alone 70.
Yeah, right.
These guys should do commercials for arthritis formula, joint pain and all that. I take it. I'm still bowling.
It's a great sport, and I don't know if Jeff told you, but in our league, our minor league, we won the championship, Bill, so we're still excited about that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Jeff was telling me about that the other day, and congratulations to you guys. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks. Bill, again now, good luck to you in the coming up tournaments, and we wish you the best, and get with us down the road a little bit, will you?
Sounds great. Anytime you guys want to have me on, I'll be more than happy to.
All right.
Take care, Bill. Say hello to the folks.
I will. Thanks, Jeff. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we'll take a fast break, folks. We'll be right back. Wow, that's...
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Ralph Venturini from Ozzy's, the world's best subs, at Wolf and Grand in Melrose Park. Hi, Ralph. Ralph, tell the folks a little bit about the history of Ozzy's.
Well, I'll tell you what. It started in 1971. It was a little grocery store, and my father decided that it came up for sale, and he decided that he would take advantage and go ahead and buy this little business and take a whirl at it. And it was just a tiny little 800 square foot space. And him and my mom ran it, and they learned it. And
all right, give me the ingredients of your great Italian subs.
Well, I'll tell you, the Italian has 3 kinds of meat. We put provolone cheese on it, Italian dressing, lettuce and tomatoes, and if you like, you can add pickles, onions, and peppers, and let me tell you, this sandwich is excellent.
Come on, folks, get out to Ozzy's at Wolf and Grand. Open 24 hours. Give them a call at 847-455-0845.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figuarelli here, and Jeff Trusco sitting in with me, my bowling partner. And we've got NASCAR Jeff on the line. We're gonna talk a little NASCAR. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, boys. How you doing?
All right. This is Jeff and Jeff right here.
Yeah, bowling buddies, right?
Yeah. And I know you bowled a little bit in your career somewhere down the line, didn't you, Jeff? Almost everybody bowled at one time or another.
I haven't bowled in a while, but I love bowling. I haven't just done it. I've been so busy doing other stuff, but I hadn't had a chance to get. I got to make an excuse to go out there and roll that ball around.
Well, we're going to have lower summer rates coming up now.
Yeah, that's another thing, Jeff, too. Like we talked about, we had a pro bowler on just before you, okay? Bill Gushko. Am I pronouncing it right? Yeah.
Gushcho.
Oh, Gushcho. Okay, a pro bowler, Jeff, and we're looking forward to him. He's on the PBA tour already, so
was a friend of Jeff's, and they did quite well. But like I said, years ago, Jeff, I'm sure your dad bowled, my dad bowled. I mean, it was just like the thing to do, you know. You just automatically went bowling on Monday night or Friday night. Used to be a big bowling night, and but I guess certain things, pick away at it. Other things, there's more television now. There's more things to do per se, you know. Guys go away on weekends and stuff like that. Plus the price of the lines went up too. To bowl one game is like $3-4, you know. And I think that's what kind of hurt the sport in a way.
Fortunately, we get the senior rates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could do the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
But it's still expensive. But anything's expensive. Everything's gone up. Gas. I don't want to mention gas. I know John will probably pop a cork back there, but
yeah. Well, that's true. Like in his sport, Jeff, the racing. I imagine. Oh man, the fuel cost for a race. Who knows what it is, right? For a race, they must go through thousands of gallons of gas.
Well, yeah, I don't know what racing. It's expensive. It's probably $1.50 more or $2 more than regular gas. So.
What type of fuel is used, Jeff?
What's that?
What type of fuel is used in a race car?
Oh God, it's like 120 or something. I forget what it is. It's
what, octane?
Yeah, it's higher than the average. You know, it's a little bit hotter blend. Right now they're blending ethanol. Yeah, I think it's ethanol. It might be E86. I forget. They changed it. Now they're trying to go eco-friendly, so they're trying to get a little bit more different type of gas burning in there, which is kind of neat. But the problem with all fuels anymore is that they burn harder than they used to do. You know, it used to be 30 years ago. If you get a little bit more higher octane in there, you might have more problems with fuel injectors and valves, things like that. You know, the tune-ups on your cars are very crucial, so make sure that you keep up on your maintenance of your vehicles. And as far as racing is concerned, that stuff is high octane. You know, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly because everybody's got a different blend. Right now, Sunoco is the one that fuels NASCAR.
Oh, is that right? Exclusively. Huh?
Then they have different blends for Indy cars and different blends for the local tracks. So, last weekend was a fiasco. I call it a fiasco. It was basically Carl Edwards had to race the car to beat, and he jumped the start, and then gave it to Tony Stewart, and Tony ended up something happened where they had a caution called for a water bottle on the track. And then Kyle Busch happened to be there, and of course Kyle just walked away with it in the last couple of laps. So his first race of the season. It's been a while since he won, which is kind of nice. But they're kind of spreading the wealth out now in NASCAR. But NASCAR's got some goofy rules, and it was an interesting race. I just wish, my personal opinion, they would cut it down. Instead of 500 miles, it'd cut it down to 250 or 3 or something, because then, it would be a little bit more interesting for you folks that aren't into it as much to watch it, especially on the short tracks. You can see all the passing going on, and
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
the different techniques on how they use their pit stops to get them out in front. And that's the thing nowadays. It's a crucial thing where the pit stop guys, even if they're off a tenth of a second or something, that could cost a guy. It could cost him a race, and that's what happened to Tony Stewart, actually. This guy's failed twice in the last two pit stops and put him back a notch. So, and then some tracks, it's very impossible. This weekend they've got Talladega coming up on Sunday. That's the one where they have restrictor plate racing, and it's basically you got your foot to the floorboard and you don't lift it.
Is that right? Yeah. Put your foot on the gas going around a curve, not on the brakes, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the 2-miler.
Yeah.
Outside of Atlanta, I believe.
Okay, and then
no, it's Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah, Talladega, Alabama. Jeff, in your young days, could you be in a well, you were a driver. I know you did that, But
I had 3 cars I owned.
Oh, you owned 3 cars on top of it.
But yeah, see the difference between the guys nowadays, they're looking for bodies basically. Somebody who's got talent. They don't own the cars.
Mm-hmm.
So there's very few people who race in that industry anymore that have their own cars.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stewart happens to be a rarity.
Yeah.
Okay, him and Ryan knew him both. But like when I was a mechanic along with a couple other guys. I was also the driver, and I had to spend the money on it. We kind of pulled our money and went race by race. Now, did I race all the races when I was in short track? No.
Oh,
the fight, you couldn't afford to.
Yeah.
It was impossible. Tires were very expensive, and to this day they're still expensive, but they rely heavily on sponsors. And unfortunately, there's a lot of good racers that aren't racing this year that were racing last year.
Yeah.
Or not racing a lot because there's the lack of sponsorship, and that's what feeds that's what feeds the crew, basically. That's what gives them the money to run, to get the cars out there. Those guys that are from like 25th on, I would guess, out of 43. Actually, there's probably 50 people that go out in any given race and try to qualify, and only 43 make it. But,
yeah, the guys with the big money and the big backing, probably.
Right. And there's some newcomers that are really good, but you've got to be able to ride by the seat of your pants on those things and basically take chances because you're pushing the envelope. That's what those young kids do. When we were younger, we did some crazy things, and when you're younger, you don't hesitate on some of the stuff. The older guys have been flipped over end over end and a little bit smarter, and they don't tend to push it as much. So
yeah, they don't want to get in any trouble, getting any accidents. I want to keep on going. Hey Jeff, thanks an awful lot, buddy. Give them that House Wizard outfit that you own. Give the folks that in case they want to call you. Give them a website.
I'm on. My email address is thehousewizard@sbcglobal.net, and I'm also on Facebook with my group. My racing group is Everything Racing, and if anybody's interested in that group, I'm on Facebook. Look up Jeff Walsman, click on Everything Racing group, and I'd be glad to join because we have everything in there. Anything from barstool racing to boat racing to flying and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Not just NASCAR, it's everything else, too.
That's great, Jeff. Thanks an awful lot for your time, Jeff.
God bless you guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, we're going to take a fast break, folks. We'll be right back. Beautiful. I'd like you to go over to Addison Advantage of Addison, a car care center. Why? Because they have a free inspection for your brakes, your exhaust, your struts, your shaft, ball joints, radiators, water pumps, timing belts, tires, wheel bearing. You realize there's that many things that would be done on a car?
Hey, that's all called preventive maintenance, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, it's absolutely right.
You can't be too safe.
Yeah, get in there but if you do need some things, there's a $20 bonus voucher for any service over $250, which that save you $20, and a $5 bonus voucher. I keep saying voucher, $5 off any service over $30. That'd be easy to do. An oil change would be that. You'd get $5 off. They're located at 885 Lake Street in Addison. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. On Saturday from 8 to 3, give Dominic or Leon a call at 630-543-1397. All right, that's Auto Advantage of Addison, Car Care Center. Great guys. They have best warranty around and the longest warranty around. Brakes $70 off on a brake job with a 4-wheel lifetime warranty. Can you imagine that? And a 1-year warranty on all labor that they do. All work comes with a warranty. So if you need your oil change, you need transmission, you need flush, or front end work, fuel pumps, whatever you could think of on your car, go over to Addison Advantage of Addison at 885 Lake Street in Addison. Call Dominic or Leon, 630-543-1397. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figueroa here, the Don of Sports. Sitting in with me, my co-host for today is Jeff Trusco. But let me just refresh your memories, your mind about our sponsors. Very important that we go to our sponsors, that you guys get out there, visit them. They keep the show going, like J.D. Muggs Still and Grill in Addison, 33 great beers. Primerica Investments with Mike Figueroa, my nephew. Want to make some money? Boy's got some great investments for you. Wayne H. O'Brien, the H stands for houses. He's a realtor, and also he loves flying, so he'll take a picture of your house from the air. And the golf courses of the DuPage County Forest Preserve District, there's 3 of them: Green Meadows, Oak Meadows, Maple Meadows. Weather's getting nice now, so get out and go golf at those golf courses. Ozzy's, the world's best subs at Wolf and Grand. Terrific sub sandwiches there, the best in the West. And Fox Bowl in, they're in Wheaton, actually, on Butterfield Road. A great place to bowl summer. I know not a lot of people bowl. However, they have a lot of summer leagues with a lot of incentives to bowl, and it's air conditioned, so on a warm day you go in there and cool off and bowl. And so those are our sponsors. If you an Auto Advantage of Addison, did I mention that? You have to have your car fixed. Go in and see Dominic at Auto Advantage of Addison, 885 Lake Street in Addison. Now, Jeff, the book, what you're going to read there about a player, it was. You got to remember this, folks. It was before the Michael Jordan era. Okay, the sports book that I have here, but perhaps this fella is just as good as Michael, or was just as good as Michael. And I remember watching him play, and his name is Oscar Robertson. So if you agree or disagree with me, my number to call if you hear this podcast is 630-530-7061. Again, 630-530-7061. Give me a call. And if you want to get on the show, well, yes, you can. We'll talk to you. If you agree with me or disagree with me or Jeff, give me a call. And like I say, this fella here is, to me, just as good as Michael Jordan, and Jeff's going to tell you about him.
Now, this book was published in 1969, so this is long before any of the current players were even born. It was quite a while before Michael even came on the scene. But at that time, the question is, who is the best all-around player in the NBA? And it goes on to say, even old-timers agree about this one. The answer is the Big O, Oscar Robertson. At 6 feet 5 inches, he's not a little man, but in this day and age of the giants who play the sport, Oscar is just a little bigger than average. His skills with the basketball, though, are not just a little bigger than average, they are superior. Oscar has strength, speed, shooting touch, court sense, ball handling skill, passing ability, defensive toughness, remarkable stamina, and alertness. There is not a trace of showboat in him. Everything he does is done so easily you wonder how. He makes no fancy Dan passes. There's a simplicity to his game that makes you feel that almost anyone could do it. One of the strangest things about Oscar, though, is that, like Chamberlain, he never played on an NCAA championship team. And right after he left the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats went on to 2 NCAA crowns. In the NBA, Oscar teamed with Jerry Lucas to give the pro Cincinnati Royals one of the most explosive 1-2 punches in the history of the game. It hasn't been good enough, though. There was always the specter of Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics.
Wow. Isn't that something? I know it doesn't give the stats there, Jeff, on what Oscar did, but perhaps they didn't play as many games and so on. So, I don't know what his scoring average was, but it was probably led the league a few times in scoring, and assists. We don't have those exact numbers, but we'll get them for you down the road on what his stats were. Like we know nowadays, they know every stat that there is, and but they were that article there was just on in a general. It didn't give his stats, I'm sure maybe Michael probably averaged more per game than Oscar, but his all-around ability was great.
Back then, I believe that the players in general were smaller compared to today's players. They may not have been as quick. We don't know. But the thing of it is, back then, professional sports, the athletes, they did not have the training facilities that are so abundant today. They didn't have weight rooms and conditioning and all these sorts of things. If they had to maintain a playing stature, they more or less, I presume, did it on their own. And certainly you had fewer players then. The leagues weren't as big as they are today. So there are a lot more players out there to compete against. And unfortunately, there are some folks who are players that think they are better or the best compared to anybody else. And there's an argument that I remember when Michael was still playing, who is the best player of all time? Well, that's hard to say because conditions change all the time. You cannot, I don't think you can compare a player or a team in this decade as well as they've done to another player or team in some other decade. For instance, like when the Bears defense won the Super Bowl, that was the best one. Well, they've had some pretty good defenses lately, too.
Okay. Jeff, I'd be remiss if I didn't name my friends on a bowling league called Duke's Bowling League on Sunday, all right? Because they want to listen to it, and I have to give their names and how well they did, okay? On TJ's, okay? They're team number 3, TJ's, okay? Gene Terzak is 119 average. Geraldine Murphy is 134 average. That's pretty good. And Tom Terzak, that's where the 3 J's come in. Tom Terzak is 147 average. And my good buddy John Murphy, who's Don, give me your website, give me the numbers. I'm going to listen. You know, big John Murphy averages 148, and but he can bowl much. I've seen him bowl 220, 230. You know, but you only bowl once a month. How can you maintain that high of an average?
Sure.
You know, it's pretty hard. So that's a great team in our Duke's Bowling League. TJ's, Gene Terzak, Geraldine Murphy, Tom Terzak, and Big John Murphy. And we're about wrapping it up, Johnny. Okay, hey, thanks to our callers. Jeff, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was fun having you in, and for you guys listening out there, thanks an awful lot. Give me a call if you'd like to, 630-530-7061, and we'll talk sports next week. Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Y'all ready for this?